Kanpai! Welcome, one and all, to episode 132 of Kanpai Cast with myself, Xeno, and Nasuth, where we'll be talking about the importance of parents in anime, or lack thereof. So, before we get into the topic, we're going to do our usual little bit of housekeeping, which is the usual, like, comment, subscribe, YouTube malarkey. Ring the bell. That's apparently a thing to get notifications because YouTube keeps unsubscribing people who don't have notifications.
But don't ding-dong ditch. Whatever you do, don't ding-dong ditch.
Absolutely.
Don't ring that bell and then leave.
So,
stick around because we'll
remind everybody to... Yes. Remind everybody to take a look at the links below to join the Discord, where you can submit memes for our meme section, or join Xeno's Patreon, where you can ask us questions that we go through. And please do leave a comment. We like to read all of those as we're going on. Now, just as a little update, due to the drama that has been kicked up with J.K. Rowling recently and the interactions she's had with her actors, we are unfortunately now legally unable to compare MASH from Magic and Muscles to Harry from Harry Potter, or similar things. We cannot talk about this as Hogwarts. So if we do bring this up in the episode, you will notice that we will not be making that joke anymore. It has become a major copyright issue and we're not allowed to talk about it.
Okay. You win. Right. For context, just before we start recording, I turned to Thaylien and said, like, okay, improv some housekeeping. Just like, come.
Make it the most horrible thing you can come up with.
Yeah.
Boy,
like, wow,
he did not disappoint.
I'm not quite. I was like, oh shit, he's bringing up J.K. Rowling. Oh shit, what is he going to go with this?
We're so screwed. We're so screwed.
Oh fuck, we're screwed. We're doomed. Right, okay. So that last thing was genuinely just bullshit.
No, that was bullshit. I was just practicing.
Oh my god.
You know, I was recently on Notice Me Senpai and I had to annoy Xeno plenty. And I don't think I did good enough job, so this is my chance.
Anyway,
so,
right.
Yes. So today is the importance of parents, or lack thereof, in anime, which is a discussion that I don't know why I just dropped it into our voice here. So, this topic this week, parents in anime, or lack of it.
I feel like we've completely missed an opportunity. We could have called it like bringing your parents to Anime Day.
Oh,
it did miss that one. Shame.
Anyway,
still.
So, what was the inspiration for this topic?
Well, it was a stray thought that popped into my brain where somebody was talking about Bleach and how it's the only one of the big three shonen anime where the dad is actually consistently present.
You saw that meme?
Yes, I did in fact. So it's not a bad point because parents in any story seem to be a massive driving force. It's a whole long-running meme about Disney and Disney parents.
Oh god, yeah.
Right? Yeah, and it's a standing thing. One of the easiest ways to make a character seem a little bit more vulnerable, a little bit more relatable, or, kind of explain away some of their flaws is to make sure their parents aren't really a visible thing. Either something happened to them or they're just not in the story. We can find out about them. It gives them maybe something to search for, something to live up to that they can only hear about in, things. Hell, Star Wars.
It can also just be a really cheap plot device. Much like the girlfriend in a fridge.
Like Star Wars.
Star Wars is a really cheap plot device, that's true.
Oof.
Indeed. I still will not ever forget that guy that specifically uploaded the entirety of the original Empire Strikes Back and only made one edit to the entire thing, which was in the scene where it was, Luke, I am your father, and instead of the no, that's not possible, he goes, no, nuh-uh.
The fuck you mean, nuh-uh?
The fuck you mean, nuh-uh? Search your feelings, you know it to be true. No! And then,
Yeah.
So it's the only thing they did. I'm still very upset that was the only difference. So,
anyway,
yes, parents are a surprisingly important force in anime as well. So we thought we'd take a bit of discussion about it, go into some of the points. Xeno spent a long time bringing up. He went through his organization kick to find the anime that he thought had a strong parental influence versus a weak parental influence. And we can go through some of those. We can find out some of the more interesting ones.
Happened there?
Nasuth broke it.
Nasuth, why did you break it?
I don't know what happened. What
I tried to trigger it, and it didn't. Nasuth broke it.
So I was going to start this one off by discussing the parent elephant in the room with the entire genre of shonen anime.
Is it the braid? Is it the over-the-shoulder braid?
Well,
Shonen just has this whole... Shonen has the entire spectrum within it. So what
before we start interrogating the topic and things, I kind of want to highlight that first off, this is more of a deep dive exploration into the significance of having parental characters within an anime, or the parental influence within anime. We don't know where the topic's going to go. I don't think we have me trying to say that slice of life is what makes a good hero sort of thing, a good hero's journey. But at the same time, we're going to be talking about some shows that have absolutely no parental influence on the characters in the slightest, and they're still brilliant shows. Things like Keijo or Date Alive.
And I'm wondering why this one's in here. I don't remember there being much in the way of parental influence one way or the other. I guess it is in weak.
That's the weak. That's in the weak side of things. So I think there's a lot to explore here in terms of strong versus weak.
But I mean, does that mean that you think this one's a good one? Because you said sometimes there's no parental influence and it's still really good. So
for everyone's benefit, Nasuth is shit stirring, and he's trying to infer that I think Devilman Crybaby is a good series. No, I'm just saying that Devilman Crybaby has no parental influence whatsoever and is a steaming pile of garbage. But I want to include everything. I put Evangelion in the strong parental influence.
Oh God,
and that is a steaming pile of garbage. So yeah,
but it's strong in the wrong way. So okay. So let's try one with good parental influence.
Sure.
Let's pick something that we can probably agree has some good parental influence in it.
Okay.
In the sense, something like, I brought up Bleach earlier.
You just want to bring up Bleach, don't you?
I know. Well, in a sense, it's one of the I wanted to get into shonen, and this is one of those ones where the parental influence is actually there, and within quite a few of the characters. You have one of the characters, Orihime, who has no parents, and her parental influence is her brother, who unfortunately dies as part of her drama. But Ichigo's father is in the picture constantly and loves him. Not only that, is very proud of him and wants the best for him at all times, and constantly refers back to Ichigo's mother, who unfortunately died. And go for it, you put your hand up.
The fuck he is?
What?
He's not in the first 100+ episodes.
No, but he's there throughout the show, in general, and they even go into his relationship with Ichigo quite a bit.
Okay.
But at the start, no, he's there for character setting. He's just a crazy older man that has the relationship of occasionally he'll just fly and kick his son in the face for camaraderie.
But who would really?
Yeah, it's Ichigo. Who wouldn't?
That's what good dads do. Just occasionally. Yes,
but you can see that his dad genuinely cares for his daughters as well, and loved his wife, and is genuinely just a silly guy at the start. And I feel that's important because, as we did with the slice of life bit, it showcases how bizarre Ichigo's actual story is. Because when you actually get into him as a parent, there is far more to him. The phrase "crouching tiger, hidden dumbass" keeps coming to mind.
But I think, actually,
what does that have to do? What does Xeno and I have to do with that?
Shh. Sorry. But I think piggybacking off that joke, right? The fact that, hidden, crouching tiger, hidden dumbass, whatever you said. I think that really highlights the lack of parental influence that his dad has, because that could be an estranged neighbor, that could be some coddling old coot that's in the town, that literally could be an uncle, right, that just randomly happens to turn up and steal their food. Right?
No.
I always feel that Ichigo's father is there as a band-aid to say not all Shonen Jump characters don't have parents.
So you didn't. You watched the first 100 or so episodes, and then you kind of didn't after that.
I read the manga. I know what happens with Kingfisher. But
So the during the initial series, especially when Ichigo's still living at home and trying to deal with Shinigami powers with Rukia living in his closet, there are quite a few things, like the anniversary of his mother's death, going out to the grave with his father.
Thaylien's one. Yep. Okay, fair enough. Thaylien's one on this one.
So they do have their moments.
Yeah.
Giving where he actually does come up with something wise. Wisdom, despite his crazy attitude.
It's not just that, but also the fact that the whole family goes to visit the family shrine and things like that. Like, again, you don't have to have strong influence by being there. You can have strong influence through death as well. An absolutely brilliant series for that is Fullmetal Alchemist, right?
Yes.
But again, I had forgotten that part of the start. Like, I think one of the problems with Bleach in this instance is that because it's so damn long and it happens over such a short span of time, it's very difficult to truly to truly grasp like what was the influence these characters had, because fucking 64 episodes of one character trying to open up a fucking gateway to Soul Society, and you're just losing your fucking mind over this. Because I swear it happens in the span of one day, right? Yeah. I swear there's no day-night cycle whatsoever. It's just one day.
Oh no, I think he's doing it in an underground bunker where it's always day.
Okay.
No, not that.
Which one takes longer? That or Goku's fight with Frieza?
No, it's that. No, Goku's fight with Frieza is done in less than 26 episods. It's 100% the Bounce Saga. Bounce Saga sucks ass.
An interesting thing that you wouldn't have got to through that is that Ichigo's father. You are aware of who Ichigo's father is, aren't you?
Yeah, he's a Shinigami.
Yes, so he's a Shinigami. Not only that, he was a captain, and he had the technique that Ichigo uses, the Getsuga Tensho. The air slash that Ichigo does that fires off a blue beam, and it's actually a sword technique. It's not actually a Shinigami power,
right?
Which is interesting. So that's why his father can do it too with his own sword. And they even spend. It's one of those off-screen arse-pulls that has meaning, which is weird to say. They reach the end of the season where they're finally facing off against the big bad that's been there the entire time, who's absorbed this mystical orb into his chest that basically grants him all the power he could ever want. and Ichigo goes into the space between Earth and Soul Society and kills the cleaner that would usually chase them before. And Ishin uses all of his power to cause time between the two dimensions to warp. And he spends 3 months in there just communing with his sword to learn the final sword technique. Right? The final... Well, it's like a final slash. Final Getsuga Tensho. And what this does is it literally uses all of your power, all of your Shinigami power, in a strike. But it also unlocks all the potential you have as a Shinigami to make you incredibly powerful until you use it. So when he gets out of this situation and his father is collapsed and exhausted from having basically sacrificed most of his life to of his power to extend this time for his son to train, Ichigo is able to defeat Aizen using this power. And then, in much the same way that the fight with Frieza, with Goku, was supposed to actually die there and Gohan was supposed to take over, but of course that didn't happen. Ichigo was supposed to permanently lose his powers at the end of this. You know, he literally uses this technique that his father teaches him to defeat the bad guy and lose all his power. Of course, the show has to go on and the series had to continue, so of course they wrote in the rest of it. Or, you know,
he gets better.
Yeah, he gets better. But they even have this whole important thing with his father, where his father not only regains his Shinigami powers, but then he uses them specifically to let his son take the lead on this bad guy, knowing his son has the potential to actually do it. It's an old phrase of a parent shouldn't be a shackle for the child; they should be a stepping stone for them to go higher. And that's actually a phrase that's used in quite a lot of like chastising a parent in Japanese manga.
I had a follow-up from this. There was one series, I'm trying to freaking remember which one it is. Because, like, I feel that a lot of the time when it comes to a lot of these shows where we have so I remember which one it was now. It's Future Diary. I just need to bring that up. So with something like Future Diary, where it has really weak parental influence, it feels like, you know, people should be able to observe the events of what's going on around the kids. People are dying and things like this, and yet no one's batting an eye, right? It's just like, why aren't people like stepping in and preventing this stuff from happening? Why aren't there more casualties, right? To these events. We could also say the same as with Girls and Panzer, right? So we've got, like, you know, literal schoolgirls operating fucking heavy machinery that, you know, someone could get, like, you know, okay, fine, I get it. The hulls of the tanks are reinforced so that the rounds can't actually kill the occupants of the tank. That's fair enough, but you could still accidentally drive over someone.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a whole sequence where one of them's like got her head out the top of the turret, so you could accidentally take her head off with one of those rounds.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, there's loads of sequences.
Isn't the main character though, like, isn't there a little bit of parental connection there? Because isn't the main character like the daughter of some famous tank person? So
yeah,
we don't see the direct influence of the parent. We see the reaction of everyone else to that news. That, this person's famous because of their parent. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is where the importance of the lack of parents comes in. Where the parents are a goal to pursue, a MacGuffin in the story, like girlfriend in the fridge, as Nasuth said earlier, where they've literally got this goal where their parent, the end goal is to be considered not the son or daughter of this person, but it's impressive that that person is their parent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it just feels like there is this very odd outlook on the way narratives are written. I mean, how we can see even in the West, where parental figures are just completely absent from these scenarios, and it's just like,
oh yeah, so often.
I do feel though that in anime it's a lot more exacerbated,
pronounced.
Right? Like,
Yes.
Well, I mean, like, in reality, there's no way in hell you would let a 10-year-old kid wander around the world willy-nilly, just fucking capturing monsters that can eat the... that's completely...
Well, I mean, of course, the only reason he wanted to do that was because Professor Oak found out his mum was single.
Yeah, we know the joke.
Okay, but
right.
think of all the teen superheroes that you end up with over here in the West, who clearly shouldn't be doing what they're doing.
But a lot of them actually still have parental figures that are also superheroes.
There is that. No, I would say they often get mentors and superheroes, but they have parental figures that are found family.
Yeah.
That they get outside of the superhero business. There's many of the stories of that are ones that have close friends or an older person that is actually able to look out for them in the real world, and many of the stories actually do involve an element of paying back that person, for taking care of them when they're, before they became a superhero.
I suppose a teen superhero isn't quite the same as a 10-year-old, wandering the wilderness, but
yeah,
Shazam.
Mm.
No, but I mean, when Shazam does his thing, I don't want to get too much into Western stuff. Like, he has the full-blown powers, and
yes, but he's still got the 11-year-old brain.
One would assume he does, but
that's
who knows how comics are written.
That's one of the key points of at least the movie, is that he doesn't really change in attitude. He gets more knowledge, but doesn't really use it any better until he's confronted with a bad guy. So, okay, the funny thing with parents in anime is that when you say that's exacerbated, sometimes it really, really is. So one of the other big three is Naruto, and Naruto's relationship with his parents, or the parents in the world, is so bizarre. Okay? For Naruto, you can get into things like the like Sasuke's family and the things. You can get into Hinata's parents being really strict and overbearing. You can get into all of that. But Naruto's own story, if you follow the whole thing all the way through Shippuden, is weird as hell.
Wasn't he essentially ostracized from the clan because his parents wanted him to be, for some reason?
Okay, so
I've never actually watched Naruto.
Okay, the relatively spoiler-free thing is that when the Nine-Tailed Fox was released upon the village by an enemy of the village, his father and his mother used their power to seal the majority of the fox into their son, because they believed that it would make him stronger. It would make him, it would help protect him from what was going on, and it would also deal with the Nine-Tailed Fox. They died doing this, and they even said, because it was the fight that where he sealed it, that was the fight that killed them, because they were kind of doing this on the fly.
Right.
And they even said, while dying, they said, but this will make him unwanted. This will adversely affect him with others. But he's our son. He'll be strong enough. That kind of positive thing. And they The funny thing is they even like set prerequisites on the seal, so that when he reached a certain point in his progression, a memory of one of them would actually be able to talk to him for a bit. Just a limited amount, but it's just a little thing to start off with.
So it's like in the Superman movies with Christopher Reeve, where he would see memories from his parents in the cave. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's like that, where you can actually at some point access the memories of them. It's a little bit of their power left with him, and it gets weirder from there, right?
Dino looks confused.
Dino's there thinking...
Dino, this sounds like such a fucking asshole, man.
It is. It plays that way, definitely, especially when you get these actual reveals and the backstory going on. So Naruto going a little bit insane in the membrane and actually trying to unleash the Nine-Tailed Fox on purpose to use its power and let it work through him. Just giving up and saying, yeah, no, you can go all evil, I don't fucking care anymore. And suddenly... the fox is still back up again, and his mum is there to give him a bit of backstory and tell them her story. And like, oh shit, where did this come from? We have no clue. It was apparently written in there all along. No, it was a bit of an ass pull to try and get him back under control from the narrative hole they'd written him into. Same with his father's presence. It's the same thing. But it gets even weirder after that. It's so bad. It's so bad at the same time as being kind of wholesome. So in the later Naruto Shippuden thing, it becomes clear that what the enemy is doing quite a lot is literally finding the bodies of deceased ninjas and resurrecting them as zombies. You know, and channeling enough power through them so they can use all their old techniques. It's whole part of the thing. And so, of course, they bring back his dad, and he somehow manages to free his dad from the control of these people and fight with him on the battlefield. And this is not even to mention the movies where there is a whole thing of him going back in time and joining his father.
But are the movies canon, though?
I'm not sure.
Because like a lot of Shonen Jump, all of Dragon Ball Z's movies, they're non-canon. Dragon Ball Super's movies are canon, right?
Yes. So this is interesting. I think there's a whole argument of whether they are or not, because they often do fit right into where they are in the story when they're released, but they all like start and end in a way. There's kind of nobody really knows them. As if that never happened.
But that just feels like they're non-canon.
It kind of feels like non-canon, but I have
a question.
The weirdest interaction. Yes, go ahead.
So before we get further into the interactions themselves, would you say that based on this kind of spotty presence, do his parents have a strong or a weak influence?
In the base Naruto series, fairly weak. They're a MacGuffin. The mother is never even mentioned as a thing. It's only once you get to Shippuden that she becomes known,
right?
And a character. And she'd be scary. Still, but his father has always been this MacGuffin, the Hokage that Naruto is striving to become. More powerful than, and actually prove that he's not some outcast. So right. It is one of those weak influences until you get to Shippuden, where it suddenly goes all which ways. Is this weak? Is this strong? I don't know. They literally have a whole short arc of like 3 episodes devoted to getting to know his mum, but then getting to know his dad. It's strange.
I feel though that really long running series are quite bad for trying to determine whether or not the parental influence is strong or weak, because like it's down to how much you prepare to watch, right? How many episodes, because like I've watched 150 episodes of Naruto, I've watched 100 episodes of Bleach, and I'd argue that the the influence is pretty damn weak. I mean, I'd also argue that of the 100+ episodes I've watched of Dragon Ball, the influence of his grandpa Gohan is pretty damn weak. But it's just, if you watch enough of it, though,
but if you consider parental figures as well as actual parents, you could argue that Roshi has had a big influence on him, and Roshi would be a parental figure.
But still, the whole point is, like, if you watch enough of it, right?
That's a really good point, Nasuth, actually, because we can actually take that back to Naruto here, because Naruto's first teacher was Iruka, and Iruka is actually, like, at minimum a big brother figure, if not a father figure to him, for the entirety of Naruto up until he meets up with the sage, with what's his name? What is his name? Fucking Eros in him. Jirai. That's the one.
Right, there you go.
Yes.
Pyro.
Until he meets up with Jirai, and Jirai becomes that new figure for him. But unlike Jirai and quite a few of the others, Iruka actually is still alive at the end of the series, and is a consistent force. They bring it back right at the final battle, where they wanted to keep Naruto safe and away from the battle, and so that he couldn't be, so the Nine-Tails wouldn't fall into the grasp of the bad guys. And when Naruto finally figures out what they're doing and is about to go, they bring out Iruka at the last second to be this thing of, why we had to do this. I'm going to ask you, as your friend, as your teacher, to not go to war for the right reasons. So could you do that? And then finally, and he's like, no, you gave me this headband, and I'm going to fulfill my duty to it. And actually, then goes off to war and has the final battle. It's very impressive. But it's surprising. As far as parental figures go, Iruka is a surprisingly consistent one throughout the series.
So I feel that consistency is the biggest flaw here, because I mean, there are so many episodes in any of these Shonen Jump shows, right? You just pick one. The number of episodes that the show runs for just exacerbates the problem in assessing whether or not it's strong or weak parental influence, because it
dilutes
No, because here's the problem though. If you were to take it in a chronological time setting, this whole 3-year series happened in a week, right? You got to see 2 days with the parental figure, right? And it's like, oh yeah, that's cool. But for you, that was 3 years.
Yeah, and you got to see it dilutes the actual influence, because there's so much other stuff besides the parental influence. Yeah,
and so it makes it really hard to assess whether or not these characters are a parental influence or not, because in all honesty, I just try to shove it out of my brain so goddamn hard.
Okay.
Right?
So let's take that and go for a shorter series. I noticed that in the category of strong parental influence, you've put in B and A.
I have.
So why have you put that in it? Because as I recall, she only talks about her parents.
Right, because not only does she have the parental influence of her biological family, she also has the parental influence of these two here, right? So effectively the foster parents that sort of take her on. And it really heavily, I think the biggest influence she has is off screen with her parents, right? We never see this, but she runs away because not only will her parents not understand what's going on, but it will damage the image of her family.
Yeah,
exactly, right? So it'll bring shame to the family and things like this. And this is something that's very big within Japanese culture. A lot of people do not have, a lot of Westerners do not have pride within their family, right? I don't know like realistically in terms of a Western sense, how much we care for our extended family. I know that I've got so much of an extended family, like I just don't.
I have a bias on this, and it comes from my experience doing Reddit reads for YouTube. And the only cases where I've seen extreme pride and family orientation have been rather toxic in the West.
They didn't used to be. So, it used to be up until about the 40s that you would have like multi-generation households and the families were really tight-knit. And then after that, you know, the suburb explosion happened, and you got a lot of one-family homes, and you know the kids were expected to leave and go, you know, do their own thing, and
spread their wings.
It's interesting because a lot of the like Mediterranean countries still have very much multi-generational families, and a lot of the Southern Asian countries have a lot of multi-generational families. In fact, a lot of Middle Eastern as well. So it's interesting how it's changed. And when, as far as Western goes, a lot of Mexican and South American continent can have the multi-generational families as well.
Yeah, I suppose it's really.
It's only in. It seems to be the US and England and places like, I would hazard South Africa as well, that have got this more independent thing of, we want our family to be myself, my partner, and my kids, and then they move on to become themselves their partners and their kids.
But but the thing is, like, it is spreading into other European countries as well, like, you know, like France, Spain, so on and so forth. Like, you know, they are seeing this outlook of, you know, separation from the family. Like, you know, most of my family, they're all within, 20-mile radius.
My family's all over the country.
Or even 10.
Like, all over the country. Except for my brother.
Yes, but... right. But you know, I'm the furthest away of the whole family. Like, you know, I'm 150 miles away from the family sort of thing. So it's no small trek for me. But but within Japanese culture, there is this huge pride in things. Yes, you can have black sheep, but typically within those sorts of situations, at least depicted within anime, I can't speak for real life, the black sheep is ostracized from the family. Whereas in over here, right, it feels more like, you know, the whole family will just fall apart, you know, if there's a black sheep. They don't let it go, and the black sheep ruins the family.
Yeah. If you invite them to Thanksgiving dinner, it's going to have a bad time.
Yes,
but you can't not invite them.
There's the amazing entitlement, right, where people in the West often seem to fall under the category of, it's easier to get a reasonable person to submit to the crazy whims of an entitled person than it is to talk an entitled person down.
Yeah.
Right? And so if there is that black sheep, that entitled person that's causing chaos and making itself part of the family, there's this attitude of, but family.
Yeah.
You get along with them. Yes, we should set ourselves on fire to keep them warm because they're family.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, as I say, it's a rather toxic take on it. There's been multiple cases. I mean, hell, there's even the occasional Florida man story of families literally rejecting new entrants to the family, you know, like spouses getting married in because they're not good enough for the family line. Or, in the same way, if one of their sons, heavens forfend, gets himself a vasectomy, that's it, he's dead to them because he can't give them grandchildren. Okay, and it's a weirdly toxic, almost royalistic case of family values. Like, we have to preserve the lineage, and it doesn't matter how many black sheep we have. We're still family, and that should be together regardless.
And of course, this isn't to say that Japan doesn't have its own problems when it comes to family, but they're a different set of problems than this.
And yeah, I mean, like there are so many different ways of looking at it. Hell, look at the depiction of. So I've just seen it in the thing. Where is it? The relationship between Shinji and Gendo, right? That couldn't be more of an abusive, toxic relationship if you tried.
And leaning so hard on that Japanese value of that the head of the
living
family.
Up to your parent.
Yeah, you have to do what they say because they are the head of the family, and living up to their expectations is the norm. So getting the robot Shinji said by his father is he has the token reason of why, but he's going to do it, and Gendo has the power to mentally coerce him, if not physically.
It seemed like even within the organization of Nerve, no one would stand against Gendo, not only through a position of parenthood, but also seniority. It's just like, no, you're trying to abuse a child here to do what you want. Oh, we need him to do it.
Yeah, but
do we really?
Part of that is technically because he's the one who's quote unquote saved everyone after Second Impact. But
sure.
That kind of reputation
it plays out the same
so far.
way. Yeah, it plays out effectively the same way that you just described.
Everyone's gone silent.
And then his relationship with his mom, of course, is
that's
really weird.
Let's...
A little bit of an Oedipus complex going on there, I think.
Come on, son, and jump in the back of mommy's neck.
Well, but he also never... I mean, he was really young when she died. I don't know, probably like 5, maybe 4. And so he didn't really know her, and yet he has this sort of idol worship of her at the same time.
Does he, though?
Okay, so I'm going to bring up one that say strong, but I think is actually surprisingly weak, and it's more the girlfriend in the fridge kind of trope, which is Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Yeah.
So
shit, if I can find it. That one.
Yeah, it's that one. So the problem with that, with Edgerunners, is that this is a story of a man who loses parental influence. Okay, his mother's trying to be good to him. His mother's trying to work hard and actually going into all the engines. Yeah, somebody's compensating for something out
anyway.
There. She's going into hard work, crime, the underworld, and you find out that she's part of an Edgerunner group. But up until the point where you find out, she's just a hard-working mum. But then he loses her, and he keeps her as a literal totem, her ashes in an urn, on his table, and takes it with him to his different living spaces throughout the rest of the show. And it's a talisman. It's not influence. It's something he's keeping for the sake of the memories, not for what it's actually doing for him.
I argue. Shit, I'm trying to remember which. The whole death of Ichigo's mother, right? The whole remembrance of going to the grave and everything. That heavily influencing his decisions and things. His father's home, fuck all influence. It's the same thing here. It's the death. It is
similar, except I would say that the whole act of going to the family grave, the family in the cemetery, is for the living. Okay, you're honouring the death for the sake of the living. I don't think David's doing that. I think David's dragging along the memories because he can't think of anything else to do with them.
But that's still strong influence, right? That doesn't
it's not
mean
parental influence. That's guilt.
It's still influence. No, that's,
Yes,
no,
but
not just guilt. Because like, if it was guilt, he would have gone back to the school.
Yeah.
He would have done what she wanted.
True. No, okay, you're right. No, it's not guilt. It's obligation.
Revenge.
It's not.
Well, okay,
it's obligation.
But isn't obligation a strong influence? Isn't a sense of obligation, a sense of duty?
But it's not
a
parental
strong
influence.
But isn't it?
No, because again, you could replace her with the girlfriend in the fridge. It could be anyone in that urn as long as they meant the same.
But how is that any different than the grave? How is that any different than the grave? I see Xeno's point here.
Well, because,
right, that's my argument with the whole.
But that's the thing. Ichigo's mother isn't the influence. Ichigo's dad is the influence.
No, I disagree. I think it is the mother. No, I think it's the mother because, like, Ichigo's dad is a blockhead. He could be fucking, as I said, he could be just estranged, fucking random old person in a village.
His mother would have done the same things for him that his father does. If the position had been reversed, his father was dead, his mother would have been as much of an influence on his adventure as Isshin was.
I reckon she would have had way more of an influence than his dad. Right? Way more of an influence. You got to do the right thing, son. You got to protect the girl at the end of the... You got to go to the other castle. What?
Also, keeping the urn around could help remind him of things that she's taught him.
Yes. But again, I still don't think that's... I believe that with the fact they went to the grave as a family, his father, his sisters, and him, is the family thing. And the parental influence of that is that his father is keeping his family together with the absence of his wife. And that's... where a lot of Ichigo's values actually do come from, is he's recognizing what he's lost and he's doing what he can with what he has. Okay, and that's the influence of the parent still left. Even though his father is a bit of an idiot, he does step up to the plate. Whereas you can't do that with a dead person.
Right, no, I disagree entirely, right? No, I completely disagree, because we got characters like, I'm just gonna pick some off the top of my head. I just want to grab... Yeah, okay, so you've seen this one, right? So Beast Tamer, right? There is no parental influence in this series in the slightest, right? There is no example, right? None. Yet, all these characters... Surely they were born in some manner, right? Right? So
I'm not saying there's no parental influence in Edgerunners. I'm saying it should be weak because the parental influence was in the first episode and none thereafter.
All you're
holding on to is the memories. You've not got any guidance, any influence from the parent after that point.
Right, okay.
Every single other decision he makes is based on the people he meets afterwards.
I'm going to say something, right? And it is very heavy, right? It's very heavy, right? And I appreciate that not everyone's going to have the same outlook on life, right? So please, don't be offended by what I'm about to say, right? So years ago, my grandmother passed away, right? And although I love my grandmother to bits, or loved my grandmother to bits, I can't remember what she looks like, right? I barely remember any interaction with her, right? I was, she was a part of my life for 20-something plus years, and nearly 30 years, and, she is unfortunately a fading memory, right? She didn't truly teach me any values or anything like that. But I know that when either of my parents go, they are going to have a profound impact on my life that's going to be with me.
Yes.
My mom
forever.
died when I was in my early 20s. Yes. And sure, her influence stopped after that point. She couldn't teach me anything new.
Yes.
But all the memories that I had with her, all the things that she'd already taught me, those stay with me. Those still influence my decisions in a lot of ways.
They do. Okay, and I'm not contesting that. My parents died when I was 7. My final living relative died 5 years ago. Okay. So I've gone through what Xeno's pointing out that he's saying if his parents were to pass on.
Yeah.
Okay, I've gone through both stages of that, and I don't relate to David. David has lost his last living relative, and he's taking the memories of her with him. But every decision he makes is not based on her. Every decision he makes is based on the people he meets thereafter.
So you're okay. I see.
I see. There isn't any parental influence because none of the decisions he makes beyond joining the Edgerunners is based on her. It's just based on the anger he has at the treatment.
Yeah,
of her.
so Thaylien's only talking about what we actually see in the anime, and in that instance, he's probably correct because they don't really flash back to his mom said this, and this is what helps push him in X direction. You know?
Right, but I disagree again because
see any of it.
Right, but the whole thing is that, David was flaunting what he had before he lost it. The second he lost it, he cherished the family of the Edgerunners that took him in, more than anything else, right? He ended up having a surrogate family, and when the distance between him and Lucy was growing wider and wider, it was destroying him. The second Lucy was threatened,
mother and more about his found family.
The found family. And even
but it's
then,
still
his found
the parental influence.
His found family wasn't really much parental influence, because even the found family he got were more like when
brothers and
really
sisters.
Parental, big brother and a big sister, until they died.
No, but when he was about to lose his romantic love interest, right? He fucking stopped at nothing to save her, right?
How does that relate to parental influence?
Because I would say he wouldn't do the things that he did had he not lost his mother. Remember, the very end of the series, what he says at the top of Arasaka Tower.
You're my new dream. It's my dream.
Okay.
What?
No, I made it, Mum.
Oh, so you made it, Mum. No, again, that's I wouldn't call that. That's his, because it's irony, if anything, because she wanted him to be the top. She wanted him to be the top of the tower, as you said, that he would have gone back to the school, bowed his head, and done the things if he was actually guilty.
Okay,
I just want to pivot.
I have a tangent because you were asking earlier, does Attack on Titan fit? And I think by the standards that you've created now, yes, it does. It is a strong influence. His mom dies in the first episode, and that informs. I would say this is even a stronger influence because it informs more of his decisions than David's mom.
Do you remember my response was not, I think it should be weak. It's, I've not seen the series, so I can't comment.
That's fair enough, I suppose.
All right. So okay. Look, let's put this onto one that I think should be strong and Xeno will enjoy, which is Guyver. Because Xeno can talk about Guyver for quite a while, and I think this is one we can actually all agree on.
Another one that works.
I have hit the button. Button's been hit.
Oh dear.
Sorry, am I talking about it, or are you talking about it? Because I didn't.
You explain. So you've popped this on the list for strong influence, and I think we can agree.
I think he's trying to pivot away from the contentious.
Yeah, from the argument.
Actually, to be fair, I don't think I put this on the list. I think Nasuth put this on the list because I was like, I think I did. Oh, maybe it was me. Anyway, the whole point is that I mean, I would say
it does have a good strong influence, but yeah.
I mean, to do a comparison, so going to the original series and going to the 2005 remake, which is what's currently on screen now, the relationship between our main protagonist Sho and his father is extremely weak. Like, it is your typical shonen series where you never see the influences of the family. You know, you've got your Infinite Stratos, you've got your Konosuba, right? You've got what?
To be clear, this is about the original, right?
Yeah. So, you know, how to summon a demon lord, or how not to summon a demon lord. I can't remember what the series is called. But you got so much, so many shows out there these days, even Gurren Lagann, right? Where the parental influence is just like, it's just non-existent. There is no immediate family. You got so many anime out there where the kid is living on their own. Now, I have no idea if that's what life is like in Japan. One would assume that it is, given how much the kids are living away from home. But that's not how it is depicted in the 2005 version, where you see Sho with his father, they're having breakfast and things. You know, he has infrequent engagements.
Father worrying about him, so you actually know that his father cares.
Yep. They even removed a part of the original series where there was a fake love interest character that was secretly a Zoanoid in disguise. You know, because it added ambiguity. That, you know, there was speculation that his father was still alive, but no, it wasn't. You know, it was his father. And a large part of this is, even though it was his father that died, it was at Sho's hand that this had happened. And again, has an but has an absolute profound impact on his life. You know, he every decision he makes, well, kind of, thereafter, it's always sort of like, you know, what would dads do? Like, you know, what's dad's teachings at this point, you know? And yeah.
Would dad want me to say
yes, I agree with it. See,
what?
So this one, this one really does. This one really does actually kind of, to me, emphasize how a deceased father can actually influence and be an influence throughout the series, because you constantly bring up what he taught, what his opinions are, and you're thinking about him.
The important difference here is that we really got to see that relationship before the death. Yes. I mean,
Edgerunners
I got a brilliant pivot.
Okay. Go for it.
Brilliant pivot, right? The whole motivation of the series, I'm trying to find it.
Ranking of
Kill a Kill.
Oh, Kill a
Kill. I knew you were going there, yes.
Yeah, because, okay, yeah, fine. All of Sho's decisions post his father's death were, you know, they weren't revenge, but they were heavily influenced. Again, like all of Ryoko's decisions, right?
Even though we don't see that relationship, you know, we're informed about it throughout the anime. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What did Thaylien say?
We saw a couple of flashbacks to him saying a couple of lines.
Yeah.
But it was always in the context of him being a bit of a mad scientist, or in the context of him being attacked.
We hear about him from other people, you know, who are like, oh yes, he did this and he was this and he cared about you because X, and
But hilariously,
you find out the entire thing is a ploy from the other parent.
Yeah, but again, that's the really strong point here, is even though the other parent is still around, right? Their influence is non-existent, right? Until the end, until you find out what's driving everything. Yes. Well, I'd still argue that, you know, they're not a source of influence. They're a source of, I'm going to stab you. You're going to get stabbed.
They are the source of conflict. They're actually the source of the overall.
You could say it is a source
of the entire show.
You could argue that it is a source of influence in that Ryuko doesn't want to be that, and so she will do what's necessary to defy the influence of her mother.
And and the fact that Ryuko is only in the care of her father because of her mother's belief that she was a failure, a failed experiment. So, yeah, it's a really interesting one. Is it that this whole show plays out as the sins of the parents without getting involved with them at all until they become relevant to the story.
Not relevant, yeah.
Right, but I mean, again, not to spiral back down the drain of nonsensicalness, right? I'd argue that this is the same influence that Ryoko has with her father as David has with Gloria.
No, because Ryoko is doing what her father wanted, more or less, whereas David, his mother wanted him to...
No,
I'm very sure
I will still hold to this point.
Her father. What?
Yeah, I will still hold to this point that none of David's choices are influenced by his mother's wishes after she dies.
Yeah, his mother would have wanted him to go to stay in school and not be in that.
But I'm pretty
sure.
Count. So yes, I think the loss of someone close to him has made him not want to lose other people, especially when
not that. I'm pretty sure though that Ryoko's father didn't go, I want you to get revenge for more death.
I think that's even. I think that's even weirder one, because she thinks he's a shitty old man, but she's going to get revenge for him anyway. So her own motivation is strong enough that it actually isn't based on the parental influence at all. I wouldn't say this is exactly a strong one, but I wouldn't say it's a weak one. I'd say this is mid-ground.
I say that Kill la Kill is strong parental influence just as much as Cyberpunk Edgerunner.
I would not. I think we'll have to agree to disagree on this one, Xeno, because I think that Kill la Kills is a little stronger than Edgerunners, but Edgerunners is not strong.
Well, like, I don't know how you can make that distinction. I really don't. Like, I feel like we could go back and forth for a long time. Yeah,
I would make that distinction because even though there is very little influence on Ryoko from her father, I think that all of her decisions are based on the choices she'd made up because of his death. She bases her choices and her actions on what she's going to do because of his murder.
But that's what I feel is the same with Gloria.
No, I don't think so at all. I don't think any of David's choices were made because of the death of Gloria, or any, in that sense. I think he just became lost.
Because if she hadn't died, if she hadn't died, he would have stayed in school. But because she died, he decided to go into this world to try and strike back at the system that made her die in the first place.
Yes,
he got the Sandevistan installed and everything.
Yes. But that's not because of her. That's because he was lost and wanted a way out.
It's because of her in the same way that it was for Ryuko. She sought out the school because it was the only path forward. He sought out the Edgerunners because it was the only path forward.
No, he fell into the Edgerunners. He fell into the Edgerunners.
That is fair.
Yes. He was presented with an opportunity to get out, and all of his decisions, therefore, going forward, were based on his experiences at the time, not based on anything that Gloria taught him or influenced him to do. All of his choices were based on his own anger, nothing more. Whereas I think that Ryoko actually had more.
But I feel Ryoko's decisions were entirely based on her own anger.
No, I don't think they were all based on her own anger. I mean, revenge, yes, but revenge is a much strong. Revenge is all based on anger, but it's revenge is anger for a cause. I don't think David had the cause. I think David was lost.
I would argue that she didn't really have the cause either, because it was all just naked rage, essentially naked rage.
So they're both as weak as each other and shouldn't be in. So they're both as weak as each other and shouldn't be in the strong category at all.
Potentially, I mean, I might even argue that as much as I said Attack on Titan earlier because it also fits into this sort of category. But I would, and as much as that informed Aaron's decisions to, foster hatred towards the people sending the Titans, even though he didn't know at the time that they were being sent, I would still say that because of other things that happen later on, she becomes a weaker influence towards the end. So she kind of starts out as a strong influence, but she becomes weaker.
But of course, it's also his father.
Oh yeah, but that's way too weird to get into. So
it's too weird to get into, but that's a weird influence on him. But there is parental influence there.
I mean, how do you deal with genetic memory and stuff? It's
that's a Naruto kind of thing where you got sealed memories in you from from your parents. So yeah, that's the weird side of the parental influence thing. Okay, what's on the weak one that we can?
No, I'm going to pivot. Well, I think the weak one is we're just going to slam on a bunch of series that these are just shows that have weak influence. But I think one that is different, really, really different, I argue is Reincarnated as a sword, right?
Oh, you're talking about Fran.
Okay.
Well, not just Fran, but Sword itself. Sword ends up becoming realistically an adoptive parental figure for Fran, right? He looks after her, he teaches her things, he makes her food. I can't remember if he teaches her how to make the curry or if he just makes the curry itself. I can't remember. He does so much, and even though there is a symbiotic relationship between them, he still looks after her as more of a parental figure, right? And I don't know if we've lost. Okay, Thaylien is still there. You very still for a moment.
I was just thinking of the next point, but yes.
I don't know why it just turned off of Reincarnated as a sword.
That's weird.
Anyway. But yeah, I think that's a really strong relationship, even though it may readily be overlooked.
Is it still not on the right one?
What?
That's interesting.
I'll put it back on.
No, I think it's gone back to this week.
Anyway, yeah, we should probably talk about some good ones. So I know, so I haven't seen Ranking of Kings yet. I do have it, but I haven't watched it yet. But I know that in that one, the parental influences are also quite strong, aren't they?
Yeah. Again, what Bocce goes through.
It's a Ranking of Kings, not...
No. Bocce is his name.
Oh, sorry, because Bocce the Rock is right there on the list as well.
No. Bocce and Bocce.
Yeah, because he wants to live up to his father, who is massive. Woo! Well, he is tiny. Well, but also doesn't his mother also have some stuff going on there too?
She died when he was born.
Oh, right. Okay, so there's also that where he's got going on. Everyone talks about. Everyone probably would probably remind him of that.
No, it's actually between him and his stepmother. So initially, the series portrays the relationship between Bocce and his stepmom as
Strange.
Wicked Witch of the the evil witch princess, a queen, whatever. I can't remember the Snow White mechanic, but still, Bocce ends up. You get to see some more of the relationship between Bocce and his step mum, and there is so much more there, and it only becomes strained when the second prince is born, right? And yeah, so it is genuinely a fantastic series, and the relationship
and the family dynamic plays a large part in it, as opposed to some of these other ones that we've talked about, where it's sort of in the background more than right up in front of you.
Yeah, again, the second prince, his relationship to his parents is very different from that of his relationship with Bocce. He sees Bocce as nothing but a rival, and his parents are stepping stones to glory, whereas Bocce just wants to live a happy life, you know. So, you know, he wants to live a happy life with his family. So it's really interesting that way.
So what I was thinking about when I froze for a second was Xena's thing about with Reincarnated as a sword was becoming the parent.
The found family, yeah.
And so, say found family, but, you know, becoming the parental figure yourself.
Sure, yeah. Okay.
And what that made me think of was, strangely, Toradora.
What?
Because this is one where
Thaylien, explain yourself.
The parent of our protagonist is there, but she has a job that makes her pretty useless. She's a hostess, so she works night hours and is very much not present as a parental figure for most of it. She's actually more of a like a roommate to him that he cares for. So he helps her get to, like when she comes back stumbling drunk because she's having to entertain guests. And so he'll help her get into bed. He'll have cooked her a meal for the morning, so that to help her get over her hangover, he'll like tidy up her clothes and put them on for a wash. He's had to become more adult in the first place because his mother is kind of good-naturedly not living up to the parental figure. And so, of course, when he meets Tiger and she is relatively hopeless, of course he just kind of sees her as another person that's hopeless, and he does the cleanup for her in her room, makes the room better, gets her food, invites her over so that he can actually cook for her at the same time as he cooks for his mother. And that's how their relationship kind of progresses, apart from the punching in the face.
Gotta have a good face punch now and then.
Oh yeah, gotta have that, especially when you're short. So, and so he is becoming more of the parent. In a sense, he's becoming independent, right? Because his parent, while there, is not exerting parental influence. You see? It's a weird one. What do you think?
No. I feel like
this is entertaining because it's actually interesting for me. Come on, say it is.
Because okay, to me, I'm asking the question: is it strong parental influence for the child to adopt the role of the parent, right? Because we've got this in...
I mean, that is a thing that does kind of happen in real life sometimes.
True, right? We've got a few instances
I say sometimes,
of...
quite often, as a matter of fact.
We've got a few instances of this in...
with the tiny penis is back.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear it.
Is there a convention?
No, it's the same guy going round and round to chase
Anyway, before YouTube decides to just completely cancel us. But again, there's other shows where there is similar relationships of this, this reverse dichotomy between parent and child. Can I fucking remember them? No. But to me, this is extremely similar to relationships like or complete absence of parental characters, like in Is This a Zombie, or Asterisk War, or Chivalry of a Failed Knight, where there is like no parental figure at all. To me, Toradora, like this is this actually might pivot one for me, because I actually claim that Beyond the Boundary, which is an excellent series, is actually a strong influence, but this never sat right with me, right? And like, even though this was one of the first shows that I'd actually put in this week, this never quite sat right with me. And I think this is the exact reason why. It's because even though the events of the mum and the dad giving us one of our main protagonists, her relationship with the son is very much they've had to reverse the dichotomy, right? It's the son has become a lot more adult, and the mum is like literally fucked off to somewhere else.
Yeah, but that is definitely an influence, because it's her carelessness, her lackadaisical attitude has forced this kid to grow up sooner than he would normally.
But is that through a strong parental influence or a weak parental influence?
I would say
have they had to grow? No, but have they had to grow up to be more adult because of a lack of parental influence, a weak parental influence?
A lack of guidance is different than a lack of influence. So while you have a lack of parental guidance in this case, you still have a very strong influence because of their behavior, because of their like, I'd say it's two different things.
Now, sir, you are technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
So you're saying because of their absence, right? Because their type of absence. Think about the children of divorce who are missing one parental figure. Often they don't get that side of they have a being
different
raised,
they have a different upbringing. They have a lack of influence from two parents, and they only have the influence from one parent, and that can completely change how they might behave.
Right, but could you not say the same for maybe there's a single parent that ends up, being out of the picture entirely, and then, the child has to grow up by themselves.
Yeah.
See, I think forcing the maturity process is only a parental influence thing when the parent is there to really get into it, to actually be the cause and be the need for that child to mature rapidly.
I don't think they've noticed what I've done.
Maybe back to Edgerunners, yeah.
No, I noticed, which is why I made my point.
Like,
see, I kept it calm. You
but in that one, she'd given him guidance.
Yeah. I think a large part of the problem here, Nasuth, is the fact that we don't know what real influence the mum in Beyond the Boundary has had, right? Was she there up until his high school years, or was she just gone entirely, right? I think it's difficult when you're trying to assess the difference between an absentee parent and a
stop that.
A lack of parent at all. Nasuth's looking up the definition.
Yeah, he's literally gone
on prestige, wealth, ability, or position. Yeah. I mean, I think the argument could be made that a lack of guidance could still be an influencing factor.
Could still be. Doesn't necessarily have to be. It's only if the actions we see are made based on that specifically. That's thing, rather than the circumstances they're currently in.
So, like, being forced to grow up, I would say that definitely counts as a result of this influence or this lack of direction.
Yeah, but
it's a lack of guidance, but causing an influence.
I would argue that maturity growth spurt is due to a weak influence, because it's sort of like the absence of something has caused something else to happen. Yeah, that's my argument.
Yeah, that's fair. I suppose that's fair, actually.
Yeah.
So it is still an influencing factor, but it's not a strong influencing factor.
Yeah.
It's only affected one aspect of them, and then everything else is from that.
Just because it's a weak influence doesn't mean it hasn't had a strong positive result.
Right. Or negative, or whatever.
So this is why I found Toradora an interesting concept, because the parent is still clearly there and able to give guidance, and is an influencing force in the decisions made by the protagonist. But it's not really a very strong parental influence, because he's having to grow up and become a normal person himself ahead of time because of her lack of actual presence.
Yeah. No, I agree with the sentiment a lot, and it is very much the same with animes that just don't have a parental character at all. There's one that's currently airing this season. I can't starting to remember what it is, and I don't have it up. And again, it's this one guy in a studio apartment by himself. You know, and it's just like, what's the difference between someone being a shit parent and one being an absent parent? Or just a simple case of, well, no, the parents are there and everything, the parents are supporting them, but because of their educational position, they have to live remote, you know?
Yes. Not going to bring it up on the screen. It's Kimihito Kirusu from Monmuso, Living with Monster Girls. Because we still have no idea who his parents are, but they are sending him money back, and that's part of how he's living. And the only other parental influence we see is in bits that will never get to the full animation without a mature rating on them.
Unless you have someone else to go, I have a question.
Well, I have one that I want to spotlight, because it is very different compared to everything else.
And I have one as a joke to add to just the end of the discussion.
And then I wanted to just shit on a load of ones because they're really bad at... Okay, so Nasuth, you do yours first.
Okay, so I wonder if we have the same one. Mine is actually Mushoku Tensei, because in this one you sort of have two... I mean, you don't really see much of the first set influence, but because this is an isekai, and because our guy was sort of rejected by his family in a lot of ways, and you know, that led to him being very reclusive. I mean, he was already kind of reclusive, but it led to him being even more reclusive in his first life. But then he goes to his second life, where he has a chance to do things differently, and parents who are very different and teach him much different things, and you know, bring him up very differently than his original family did.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, like, isn't that
genuinely
kind of a neat example of like the way influence can affect a person?
Yes. Now, see, this is really interesting, because his experience in his first life often leads him to be more cynical of his parents. So, of course, he realizes that his mother is a shining beacon of good parenting and loves her to death. But then they have their maid, who he also loves for the care that she gives in a different way. But then there's Paul, who is, by most metrics, a piece of shit. His father. Yeah.
No. Paul is Paul.
Yes. He's the one rule.
Well, he's the definition.
So, and but you know, when he's around other people and he's actually doing his job as an adventurer or as a trainer of adventurers, he can come across as a decent person. But then he has all of these dark sides, all of these problems in his life, the weaknesses that he has. And it's really interesting to see how Rudius at first puts him in the box labeled Paul, and then kind of like uses him as a scapegoat, especially when he's going to get two little sisters, you know. And and he keeps his family, the ones he loves, together by scapegoating Paul. And that's, in this case, objectively the best decision. But then later on, we have that, when they finally reunite after the event, and he realizes the further depths that this is a person. It's not just Paul. He sees him for
we saw hints of that
more of who he is.
Well,
yeah,
but it's much clearer afterwards. Hints. Yeah.
When we see him as a broken man, it's a little bit of the, okay, I have to address this as more of a mature person. I can't be his child. I have to address him as a person. And
the fact that this is a grown-up man in a grown-up mind experiencing this gives him a different view than a child might.
I mean, it's really interesting how Rudy mentally is older than Paul was when they had Rudy, so it's, again, very, very interesting take on the whole thing.
In fact,
my good sirs, I raised the question. If Rudy was already mentally matured prior to his relationship with Paul and his mum, are they a strong influence?
I would say yes. I would still say yes.
Okay. I would argue
he's had to accept being
he wants to keep it.
Their child.
Yeah. No, I would argue this even further back. I would say that because of his situation in his old life, he was not mentally mature.
That's also fair.
I would say
some Arrested Development going on there.
That his status now becoming a child again allowed him to actually
properly grow up.
I have no idea about that.
Valuing the family.
What, Arrested Development?
Whereas he,
it's an actual condition. It's also a TV show, but it's an actual condition.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It is, yes. Where actually Arrested Development seems to be a lot of the thing behind a lot of the entitlement we see on the internet these days.
Really?
Yeah.
It's where you just kind of stop maturing at a certain point, Yeah.
When people say you peaked in high school.
Oh, fucking Christ. Yeah. Okay.
That's Arrested Development, basically. It's where you cannot see yourself beyond the status you earned for yourself in your teenage years.
This is a whole topic I'd love to talk about, but we're so short on time.
Yeah. Hey, idea for next week's topic. No, I'm kidding.
Maybe. Right. So the one I wanted to raise, even though I want to give huge amounts of praise to Bocce the Rock, right? Because her parents' influence is absolutely fantastic. They nurture her so much.
Oh God, yeah.
What do you mean, oh God, yeah? Have you been watching it without me?
No, anyway, but I can tell just from what we have seen.
Right. The thing I actually want to highlight here is actually the Irregular at Magic High School. So even though it is a negative relationship between Tetsuya and his family, his estranged family, the influence that they have still yet today on his life is absolutely monumental, right?
Oh yes.
Even how he has developed has been down to how he has been brought up, separate from them. How he has looked after his sister, again, separate from, but yet even though they keep him at arm's length, they still have such a profound influence on both him and his sister. And again,
it's a degree of control that you wouldn't get outside of what they are, which is like a mafia family.
Kind of, yeah.
They're in this world. They're a controlling family of influence and interest. And considering that his aunt is the current head of that family, and literally is the one that his aunt, his mother, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you see the movie?
No.
So the movie and the start of the third season are out on Crunchyroll.
I know the third season,
so
but
watch the movie before you watch the start of the third season.
Too late.
Oh dear.
Anyway.
Okay, so no, it does show the influence
Toxic
that they have, and
relationship,
and of course the level of control that they have. The family that he's in is actually considered so powerful and so influential that there is an ongoing plot to kind of shift that the other families are, and so he's becoming a bit of a victim of the circumstance of his birth beyond just the family.
Yeah,
it's a great use of negative influence of family to show, getting independence and growing as people.
Okay, and what did you want to highlight then?
Just for the comedy, I wanted to bring up the influence of parental in Oshi No Ko.
Oh no! No!
if Zena hasn't seen it, no, there's
neither have I, but I know. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know.
I tried to read the manga, and
the entire show is geared around the fact that they idolize their mother to the point where I think at multiple points along the story, the sister suggests that if they ever got together,
they might have a child together. Since they have half their mother's DNA.
Wait, hold on. Are you trying to tell me that was not just a weird thing on Reddit?
No, that is not just a weird thing on Reddit.
That was actually in the series.
That was...
Yes.
Dear God, okay, let's...
do you remember I made a joke? I brought a meme thing of, me watching the Oshi No Ko fandom right now a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
That was because there's been a development in the manga that
so moving on with the rest of the shit.
It only exaggerates that.
Okay.
So
let's
there's a bit of the wrong parental influence here.
Anyway.
Right. I think Xena wanted to shit on some shows before we moved on.
Oh yeah. Let's just shit on some shows.
Okay. Let's shit on some shows. Naz going to love this one. Classroom of the Elite. Where there is no parental influence whatsoever. We've got some random ass
timeline in this
I don't know. Well, you would assume so because they have to have kids in order to have like the top 1%.
They're just grown in vats.
Fucking clearly, this is absolute fucking stupid as all hell. Again, we've got Chained Soldier, which is like this is. Where are all the adults in this? Why aren't the adults fighting? Where trained combat and all that shenanigans? There's actually one that I'm gonna quickly go find because
you put on too many here and you didn't include it.
I got to K in the list and then decided, oh my god, dear God, how long is S in our bloody directory?
Probably pretty long. Most shows start.
There is
S one of the most used letters in the English language, I think. Starting letters.
No, E is
anyway.
right.
Maybe Japanese.
So Magical Girl Spec-Ops Asuka. Okay, there are adults in this series. They are fucking useless, right? Why are these teenagers having to? Why are these teenagers with bountiful bosoms the ones that are actually doing all the combat? And what else? Oh yeah.
Actually, considering you were in K, what about?
I don't want you dare. Don't you fucking dare.
Well, K Project or just K?
God.
Because where the adults in this are worse than the kids.
Pretty sure the adults in this don't exist.
Yeah, no. So there's reference to them, but the oldest people are in their early 20s, and they are horny hot messes mostly. And when they're not, they are some like overlord that has all the power.
Yeah,
and like there's no redeeming adults in this show.
And then the last one I want to shit on is Devilman Crybaby. Because why on earth did America not just throw a nuke at it? I don't know. Saved.
Exactly.
Wow, I can't believe I fucking said that. It saved a whole lot of mess of that show. Yeah. Anyway, right. I think I think let's.
Are we done? Are we ready to move on?
We're gonna nuke the moon.
Yeah.
Cool. So moving on to the supporter questions after that rabble. Right. So Zrugal asks, before I read out Zrugal's question, I just want to say thank you everyone for listening to our podcast so far. We really appreciate all the likes and comments everyone leaves on these episodes. So Zrugal also asks, if you could force someone to watch any anime, who would it be and what anime? Nasuth and Data Life.
No!
Xeno and Najika Blitz Tactics.
I don't care. I've got Nasuth for Data Life. It's fine.
Xeno and all the Devilman anime over all the years.
I mean, the other Devilman anime is probably significantly better than Devilman Crybaby. So I mean, can't get much worse than Crybaby.
That's a fair point.
I'm still fine, yeah.
And that one particularly long slice of life. What was that one?
Oh.
Yeah, we can get through get Nasuth through the entirety of Armour Goddess.
I've done that already, I think.
You probably wouldn't mind
fair
that.
enough.
I think. Maybe not some of the movies. Thaylien and Sailor Moon.
I don't think you could get Thaylien with anything, because, like...
Yeah, I want to give Thaylien something to enjoy. Why do I force him to watch something bad?
So, Thaylien and there's this Marvel series, I think it's like called Marvel Disc Wars. Sorry, Marvel Avengers Disc Wars or something. Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Yeah. Not for a specific
How much Rule 34 is there?
Batman Ninja.
0. -1.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh god, Batman Ninja, jeez. Right, so moving on. So, Recuse plus a lot of random things equals Uwu. Before I read out Recuse's question, I want to thank Thaylien for that...
soliloquy.
Okay. Oh, that's a cute,
I don't think that's actually spelled right, but either way.
Right. In the show, and Nasuth for his heroic restraint at not telling me I was wrong that one time. And I want to thank myself for never forgetting to be awesome. Aww.
You are awesome. Well done.
Anyway, Recuse plus...
Xeno's awesome.
Yeah. If you could remove any anime from existence except for a single person watching it, who would that... sorry, who... What? Who would that be and what anime?
Myself only watching Monmusu, but the entirety of the anime, like, done to the extent of the manga.
Remove an anime existence, but one person has to watch it.
Xeno and Data Live. Oh my god.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but that way I don't have to watch it. See, I got out of the other one by making it not exist for me.
Yeah, that's fine. But Thaylien has to watch School Days. Right. No one else needs to see that bombshell. Anyway, right. JPEG
no
Boy
Pico
asks,
and only having Donald Trump watch it.
Oh.
Alright. JPEG Boy asks, if you could force one anime character to watch your life, who would it be? Kobayashi.
Oh, well, so you watched theirs enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
This is what your life would be like if you didn't have dragons.
Making them appreciate their life.
Yeah.
I think I would make Dio watch mine as a punishment for him in the afterlife.
Oh my god.
He'd just be jealous of how sexy you are. I think Aqua. Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow, harsh. Right. So that is it for the supporter questions. Moving on to the comments from last week. First of all, with the news, Trombus Shell says, I did not know there was a live-action JoJo spin-off.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. The Monster
the
Hunter...
more you know jingle.
The Monster Hunter restaurant looks awesome. I don't understand why themed restaurants aren't more popular. I mean, they are everywhere in Japan. They are, oh my god, they are everywhere.
Expensive branding.
They used to be more popular over here too, but that kind of died out for the most part. I mean, you still get things like Margaritaville, and there's another one I can't remember the name of.
But are they themed after like TV shows or anything like that, or are they themed? Yeah, exactly.
Most of the branded ones from themed are usually at the studio experiences and things.
Yeah. That's true.
I'm not great with faces, so I can't tell you what's wrong with the bronze Chun-Li statue, but it looks bad. Yep.
Why are you looking at her face? You got all those thighs? No.
Oh my god. The colored Digivice was pure nostalgia. I attempted to see if it if I still had my old one somewhere. I'm tempted to see if I still have my. Yeah, right.
Let us know if you do.
Right. Zrugel says, the streaming service rant had me giggle. I don't mean to laugh at people who are affected, but I don't subscribe to any of them, and the more I hear, the more I don't want to. Yeah, I mean, let's just put some ads in it. It's fine. It makes me so frustrated with Twitch, though. Like, I want to support many people. I just can't afford that, right?
Yeah.
That food from Monster Hunter restaurant looks amazing. It does.
Yeah.
Oof, I would have considered an anniversary Digivice, but not for $90-some. That's spency. Yeah, it is. The actual end of the episode was at 34:25, but the secret code is sometime after that.
Apparently, there was a bit of black space at the end of the last one. I think you might have.
Oh shit! Was there?
To resize the music track.
Oh shit! Sorry. I probably forgot to move it. Yeah.
I may try to do it this week instead. We'll
cool. See. Then there's the comments from the cast last week. So Strong Michelle says, you were a good sport, but I'm glad I wasn't playing. Take a shot every time someone interrupts. Had a bunch of laughs throughout. Yeah, I mean, these two. Jesus Christ. Strong Michelle also says, mythology done right is so underappreciated. It can really make or break a narrative. You guys did a great job of bringing up shows that use myths well and shows that do it so badly.
Well, I'm glad we managed to cover everything.
I'd like to honorably mention, is it wrong to try and pick up Girls in a Dungeon for the Western myths? Since I've been rewatching it recently, they really messed with lore and didn't do an especially good job. But I at least have an idea of who characters are because of their names. And for Eastern myths, I'd like to add
Kakurio?
Okay.
Kakurio, yes.
Bed and breakfast for spirits.
I've never heard of that one. Sounds very.
I have actually. I have. I think I've actually found it and need to watch it. Right, and then kind of on the topic, is Pantheon good? I think I tried watching that and it was okay. I think it's like one of those American kind of anime-esque things. Sassy and spicy at times. Overall, a good episode. I'd give episode 131 a must-watch. Yay. Cool. Right, and now it's time for the best part of the episode. It's time for the memes.
Everyone's favorite.
The memes.
All memes, of course, are sourced from Reddit for us, mostly. I don't think anyone has anything from not Reddit this time.
I got 2 from Instagram.
Oh, I forgot to do one of the viewer memes that... Oh, well. Maybe next week. But we have 3 viewer memes this week.
Special.
If you want to introduce or give us some viewer memes to look at, you can join the Discord and drop them in a special channel where we won't see them until they're on the episode itself. So
These are mystery memes.
Let's get into the first one, which is a viewer. There we go.
Not wrong.
Yeah.
Someone insults Saitama. Genos Saitama.
Yeah.
He is a golden retriever.
Oh,
Yep.
he's a good boy.
Yeah.
Before and after you tell your grandma you haven't eaten all day.
Not wrong. Oh god, my nan was like that.
Where's that post where someone erased all the extra lines and crosshatch shading from a JoJo character's face? Cursed image. Oh my god, it's an actual 17-year-old. He's been under there the whole time.
So there was supposed to be a video meme, but apparently it would have lacked context without a some text, and I forgot to make that happen. So
Yep. Yeah. Next week.
Right. So we got a few spicy memes sprinkled throughout, and my first one happens to be spicy, a little bit spicy. It's not super spicy. So your favorite seasonal anime is ranked today. You remember it's a recap episode. I tagged this one because of the flipping the bird.
Indeed.
Number 2, Nobody. How the rest of the world assumes Americans prepare lunch. Oh man,
it's not wrong.
I don't want to give it away, but
100%.
Fable has been amazing so far with just the first
Wait,
episode.
what? Okay.
So you got Naruto doing a bunch of different emotions, and then is that Sasuke?
Yeah.
Doing like a bunch of different emotions.
Same one.
Not really.
All the same.
So the next
I love
It's a
Confused
bit
Naruto.
difficult to read.
A little bit. The next 2 are video memes.
This is
Let's see that again. I just want to see that again.
You want to see that again?
Yeah.
It's just the author being like, oh.
I know, but I just like the idea that Gigi for Jujutsu Kaisen, he's doing literally that whenever someone says open. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Next one.
Oh no.
So it's Nichijou and Kill Me Baby, which I've never watched. I don't know what that is. But there you go. Whatever that is.
Oh god. No, so this is this season. Shit, I forgot this was coming out this season. I haven't actually watched this yet. Basically, yeah, it's just chaos incarnate.
Okay, and my last one, which is also a bit on the spicier side. Yeah, I know, I know. Chinese philosopher, what is your wisdom? Only when a mosquito lands on your balls, you will learn to solve problems without violence.
Oh god! Oh wow!
So maybe being a little overzealous with the spicy tag, but just wanted to be careful.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know, you could discover you're a masochist.
Oh,
anyway, go on, Thaylien.
But then it's not violence.
All right. When the hood accepts you as one of their own.
Oh fuck!
What?
That's gonna get us cancelled.
Absolutely.
Oh dear God! I just realized. Oh God! Fucking Thaylien.
I got banned again. I told you to stop talking in chat.
Lol. Actually, before back, quick.
Yep. All right. Yep.
Before we continue on, the guy, there's a scientist YouTuber. I can't remember his name. Like the one that has the weird, corny AI. Shit, I can't remember his fucking name. I can't remember his name at all. Anyway, the whole point is he's a YouTuber. He's been playing Helldivers, and then when he lands in the Hell Pod, he then starts talking about some random science stuff. The number of times he gets kicked immediately afterwards in voice chat. Yeah.
Wow, that's surprising.
Yeah. No, it's not. Kids don't want to learn.
Things Sakura could do, but Naruto couldn't. Hug her parents.
Oh. Topical.
Topical.
Oof.
So Thalien's next one is his spicy. Let's see how spicy he went.
Is there a problem, officer?
Oh my god.
Worth a shot.
Oh. Wow. Thalien's gonna start abusing this, isn't he?
No. No. It's just Ubel's important.
Anyway.
She is. Oh my goodness, look at you. You are so adorable. Oh, come here, honey bunch. Pikachu!
Oh my god.
Oh, I think this is going to be the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
And Pikachu's reaction
Oh, no.
Okay.
And we have a video meme.
Yeah, I saw this coming.
But surely that would be Ojo. Surely that would be Ojo. Because
It doesn't matter. Let's just keep going. Just keep going.
all right, I'll just see.
My first one. Please stop. We gained enough levels. Haha. Monster Flute go burr.
Yes, I almost used that one.
Yep. My number 2.
Oh God.
This is why I wanted it to loop.
Yep.
You can move on to the next one.
Yep. Oh no! I want that crossover so badly. I didn't know I needed it in my life, but now I do.
Yep. Next. You can't even get wet despite being a water goddess. She's a frog! Yep.
Wow. Cruel.
Mushoku Tensei, but Rudius is a girl. What changes? Finally! A worthy opponent! Our degeneracy will be legendary!
And your last one is also a video. What the... Oh, that's beautiful! Oh, magnificent, sir!
Yep.
You may have
Good
won.
find.
There were a lot of really good ones, though. That'd be a tough pick.
Yep. Right. That's it for this week's episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching or listening. And now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai!
Hi, everyone.
I actually refilled this, so, you know, I did drink.
Whoa!
Well done, for once.